Okay, that reminds me of a funny story involving a gay former coworker, but
we're on now. They just heard that.
All right, David, tell us your story involving your gay coworker. That's funny.
Former coworker. Well, okay.
I thought you meant
for a reason. I took his ass to HR.
I thought you meant former gay. Like something happened.
Converted him and fired his ass.
No,
we are live.
Just joining us. John had mentioned something about in your eyes. So I was like spraying down a surface to clean it and everything. And
you sure were.
God damn it, Jesse. I was spraying something, and the guy kind of like, whoa, watch out. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get it in your eye. Ha, ha, ha. And he looked at me stone faced like, don't joke. That stings. Okay. I'm going to walk away from this conversation.
What was wrong with that guy? It was clearly a joke.
David, that's nothing to joke about. Jizz in your eyes is terribly painful.
It affects
I should know.
It's not a joke.
It affects millions of people a year.
Voluntarily, always, but whatever.
I mean, I don't know that it's entirely voluntary. I think it's more like if I'll do this, then they'll buy me something nice.
Word. No. So David gets cummed in his eyes a lot. Johnny, I think it's about time to start the show.
Yeah, I'm not into the transactional sex.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Don't we get a countdown?
Yeah,
Johnny.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Fuck it, we're starting the show.
We're live
and
now.
I know you're into transactional sex.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, everybody? It is Game That Tune back in the house once again. It is your boy, John Harrington, here back again. It's also your boy, John Regan. Say what's up.
What's up?
Funny how I forget how to do the intro after a week off. But every time I forget how to fucking do the cadence of the intro. We got Jesse Moore. Say what's up.
What's up?
And we've got David Fleming. Say hey.
Hey, why do you talk about the cadence of the intro and then stop the intro to talk about it?
Yeah, no, that's the key. You gotta, it breaks me of the habit. I gotta, fully break the intro in order to get the intro back on track in time to get you to say hey. So David, say hey.
Hey.
All right, everybody, it's Game That Tune back in the house once again after a short hiatus. It's episode 176, and we're so happy to be back with you guys. If you're just joining us here on Game That Tune, what we're going to do is listen to video game music. We've each brought 3 songs from a game. We're going to try and guess each other's games based on the songs and a little bit of trivia. We're going to goof off and have a lot of fun, and the winner at the end of the night picks a theme for the next episode and plays some bonus tunes. And I do apologize to everybody for missing last week. We got some family stuff going on. It's been a rough week. I've been feeling a little bit down in the dumps, but it's good to be back with some positivity and just like some good feels all over. So Jesse Moore won last week's episode, and he's going to tell us what the theme is for this week's episode. So Jesse, what's the theme for this week's fantastic, upbeat, positive episode?
Well, first off, I thought we were supposed to dress up. So,
oh, shit. As of this recording, let's see. Fuck all this nonsense, man. It's not Halloween. I only dress up one night a year.
Oh, okay.
What is David showing us? Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I thought he was about to expose himself in some way. He stood up towards the camera.
Which segues into my theme, spooky games.
Right.
Any game that's spooky, scary, perfect for the Halloween season. Your Castlevanias, your Resident Evils, whatever those games are.
Stop spoiling things, Jesse.
Oh, sorry.
You can't just tell everybody that we've all selected Castlevania and Resident Evil for the show tonight. That makes the show less interesting. You ever try listening to a game show when you know all the answers already? It's not as fun.
Well,
Unless
if
you're
you're with
competing on the show,
If
which
you're
is
Charles
really
Nelson, if somebody on the show is Charles Nelson Riley, it's still fun. But otherwise, no.
or
I mean, I have to do my Charles Nelson Riley the whole show.
Yeah.
oh my God, please.
Yeah.
No, David. Johnny has to do his Charles Nelson Riley the whole show.
Can we just play match game?
I'm waiting.
Oh man. Hello, darling. How's it going? I'm Charles Nelson Riley. This is about the best I can do of a Charles Nelson Riley impression. I got that wave in my voice. That's about all I know off the top of my head. I need cigarettes. Where's my cigarettes?
You gotta move your glasses.
Charles Nelson Riley sounded like Nathan Lane.
I do want to say,
It's a pretty basic impression.
we do clown on you a lot, but I feel like that was a pretty decent, attempt. You did good, Johnny. I'm proud
Having
of
been
you.
put on the spot, yes, it was. It was a decent attempt by Johnny. And yes, his Charles Nelson Riley impression is quite spooky, so it is in keeping with the theme.
Well, thank you for the lovely compliments, you too.
I regret every bit of asking this. This is a big ask, and Johnny is not up to the task.
See, now I want to do a Charles Nelson Riley imitation just to put Johnny to shame.
All right. We'll bring that up. We'll bring that up later. David's bound to work a Charles Nelson Riley impression into the show at some point. But yeah, so it's spooky games that don't involve Charles Nelson Riley in any way. I'm not sure how we got on that subject.
John, you don't know.
Somebody
Could easily have picked the All Dogs Go to Heaven game.
Lidsville, the game.
That's true. Yeah, Jesus Christ. All the best IP feature Charles Nelson Riley was made into admittedly spooky games. But yeah, so we got 5 great games. We've got a fantastic fan request. And yeah, for all our live viewers, this is your Halloween show. For all our podcast viewers, this is it's a nice respite in the midst of the onslaught of Christmas. So yeah, enjoy this spooky episode of Game That Tune. And Johnny, let's get it going, man. Let's start with game 1.
Game 1.
We made it.
Oh man, the soundtrack is so good. All right, all right. This game was one of the first games to be given a rating by Sega's own Video Game Rating Council. In North America, the game was given an MA13 rating by the Council for its graphic violence and gore. Um, Unlike its predecessors, it was not originally released in Europe, and the game was included as an unlockable extra in the 2010 remake. All right. Let's see what those guesses, guys. Let's see. Johnny says Splatterhouse 3. David says Splatterhouse. And John says Splatterhouse 2. It's a Splatterhouse 3. Wow, Johnny, gotcha.
On the board.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's the only one on the Sega Genesis. Or did 2 come out on Genesis? I don't know.
2
might be
definitely
on
came out on the
also.
Genesis.
Oh, 3 is always the one I think of. I think it's Splatterhouse on the Genesis.
See, I was stuck on the 2010 reboot of the original Splatterhouse.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even listen to that trivia. I just
Well, not all of us had Sega Genesis slash TurboGrafx.
See, my key was I literally just Googled spooky Sega games, and we had already used Decap Attack, and so the next couple entries were Splatterhouse 2 and 3, and I'm like, probably Splatterhouse 2 then. Like, that makes sense. They made so many worthwhile sequels to Splatterhouse, right? Like, what a series that should exist.
That's a pretty good name for a game series. I like it.
Yes, Splatterhouse. I hardly know her house.
It's basically The Mask.
Like,
see, I don't even know that
with Jim Carrey.
It's basically The Mask.
No, the
if
Eric
the Mask
Stoltz
turned you
mask.
into Jason Voorhees.
Yeah. So like this dude finds this mask and he puts it on and it starts controlling him, and then he uses his hate and stuff to become more powerful. In this one, you're trying to save your girlfriend, and I think she dies no matter what. Maybe it's been I played a little bit of it, but I haven't beat it in a long time. And usually, and whenever I play, she ends up getting killed. And then you're supposed to be super upset, and the mask is like, yes, Rick, use your hatred to get revenge. And then you just go around killing all these Cronenberg monsters, and it's like a really cool beat 'em up. I kind of prefer this one to the other Splatterhouse games, because like it's more of a you can move up and down in the stage. It's like Double Dragon or something or Streets of Rage, and you're
Word.
punching Cronenberg monsters. And
I like it.
I know in the third level, the boss, like you get into the last room and there's just like a bloody teddy bear laying on the ground, and then all of a sudden it like becomes like half like meat and flesh, and then the rest is like teddy bear, and it's like this weird looking fucking thing, and it's very impressive on the Sega Genesis. Like this game, for being like all dark and gritty, it's got some really cool looking sprites, and it's a real good looking game. It can get pretty hard because the enemies just start getting overwhelming, but it's a super fun game if you just want to play something kind of spooky and punch weird monsters in the face.
Ooh.
Oh, and whenever you're punching the monsters, they like get noticeable damage on them. So like you like punch a thing in the face too much, and then part of its head is missing, and there's like green ooze coming out. It's like
Dope.
some really cool effects.
Yeah, man. I like it. I never played any of these, obviously. My parents, I mean, my mom thought Mortal Kombat was the devil. And I also didn't own a Genesis, so the point was moot. But this wouldn't have found its way into my house. Like, not a chance, man. My mom was like, "Hey, Mario, that's good." What about Killer Instinct? It says killer. It's the devil. Yeah, that Mortal Kombat. I saw the news. The devil. So Splatterhouse, definitely the devil in that one. Like, for the record, my mom is not one of those wacky like '80s religious fanatic people, but man, she really believed in evil coming through your video games.
There's always just one
I like
thing.
how you specify she wasn't a crazy fanatic, but she did believe that evil came through video games.
I mean, she wasn't like going on TV and explaining how like, there's idolatry all throughout Thundercats and shit. But like, she really didn't want violent video games in the house. So if something was Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct, those were the two prime examples. Those didn't get a lot of play in our house.
I do like, John, that in order to be a fanatic, you have to go on TV.
You're not a fanatic if you prevent your kids from doing something. You're a fanatic if you go on TV and espouse all this insane bullshit and try and prevent other people's kids from doing shit.
Yeah, you're a fanatic once other people's kids are involved. That makes sense.
Exactly.
That is the fine line between fanatic and crackpot.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing. I would go over to my buddy Alex's house, who had the Genesis, and we would play our Mortal Kombats and our Eternal Champions. No, we didn't have Splatterhouse though. I mean, come on, like this came out when we were 7 years old, so no, his parents were just reasonable people who were like, we don't really give a shit about this, but we're not going to buy this. This just wasn't on our radars. I'm glad it's a thing that exists.
Well,
but it wasn't really on the Genesis radar in my lifetime.
It was rated MA13. I forgot about that whole Sega Genesis rating system that they had for a while.
I never even knew about it. They
yeah.
decided to they decided to like forego the ESRB and be like, fine, we'll rate our own shit.
Basically,
Sonic NC-17, too damn sexy.
That's only after they saw the deviant arts.
I was gonna say, once he
Exactly.
knocked up Goku, NC-17.
I like the idea. Sega invented DeviantArt in order to invent the NC-17 rating for their own games. Just behind the scenes doing everything Sonic related.
spin up all the controversy themselves. It's all AstroTurf.
Yep. But no, I didn't know they had their own rating agency. But I mean, it's a good try.
Yeah, they had GA, I think, was general audiences. I remember MA13. There was something in the middle, but man, I don't remember was it T or is that ESRB? Is T for teen?
T for teen is
Yes.
ESRB. I remember the only things I remember that changed over time. ESRB rating used to be KA for kids to adults. And it's like, well, that's a nonsense rating. It's like, how about E for everyone? Actually, yeah, that makes much more sense instead of for kids to adults. Because like, Elmo's Number Adventure, adults don't want to play that. It's appropriate for them to play it, but like they don't want to. So
I guess Sega's went from MA13 to MA17, and that was it. GA, MA13, MA17.
I was just saying, I'm glad that there was something in
Triple X.
I was glad there's something in between because I love the idea of a rating board that's either everyone or NC-17. Nothing
Yes.
in between.
Right. Or everyone and then only people over 13. Like that's some great cutoff. Like anybody over 13 can handle Splatterhouse 3.
Yeah, they're men now.
Well, yeah, hold on now. Can we now?
It's like at your bar mitzvah, you get a copy of Splatterhouse 3. Like you become a man.
You finish reading the Torah, and they hand you Splatterhouse 3. I think that's what happened. My friend Alex was Jewish, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. So, it's just part of being a Jewish Genesis owner. These things happen. They give you Splatterhouse 3. So Jesse, have you ever beaten this? Have you gotten the various endings or whatever from like who you save and who you rescue?
I haven't got that far. I think I've gotten to like the 4th stage, and it just gets really rough from there.
Yeah. I was reading about it. They say, you got the bad ending where you don't save anybody and it just makes fun of you basically for being all alone. But then, there's an ending if you save Jennifer, but don't rescue David. And then you save David, but don't rescue Jennifer. And then there's the good ending where, everybody's fine. It's like, what does it say? Yeah. Oh, he destroys the mask and he goes home with his family. I'm like, that's the good ending in Splatterhouse 3? Like, you want the... I thought, if you play in Splatterhouse 3, are you angling for a happy ending or a fucking twisted ending? Quote unquote good ending where everyone survives and Rick goes home a family man. Is that really the good ending? I challenge on that. I feel like,
I mean, if he's been going through 3 games of just murder and death all the time, maybe after all that you want to go home and not see a bunch of Cronenberg monsters.
True.
Go
but maybe you do.
Yeah.
Like think of like Infinity War when Iron Man was like, I get to fucking be home with my kids. Fuck all this cool like fighting monsters and shit.
Right. I mean, that would have been the good ending for like Splatterhouse 2. And in Splatterhouse 3, the good ending, I think, would have been Rick fucking, making the sacrifice play.
With the infinity machete.
Yeah, you either, you have to save like both the people and sacrifice your life against Splatterhouse Thanos, and then you get the good ending. Otherwise, you just kind of blew you wasted it. But I don't know, like. It's just if you're gonna make a twisted game, I feel like the good ending shouldn't be everybody lived happily ever after. Like nobody's playing that game to save Rick. Like
I love the idea of like you're playing a terrible, horrible game about punching giant monsters. I don't want there to be happiness in this world. Like I'm not trying to save people.
I mean, like, what's the good ending to Mad World? Like, like these games that are like deliberately twisted. Like, do they need to have an ending where it's like, and he got the girl and lived happily ever after? Like, no, they don't, right? Like,
or maybe they do need that ending, but that's the bad ending.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think Rick, in Splatterhouse, he should save. The family or whatever. And then they're like, come on, Rick, let's go walk into the rainbow. And he's like, nah, it's like the Hurt Locker. He just has to go back. He's like,
he stabs them both.
Yeah. Or, he lets them go. And there's like a brief cut scene of Rick shopping in the grocery store and like just getting kind of antsy. And the next thing you know, he's just like back there stabbing Cronenberg monsters.
No, he splatterhouses the rainbow is what he does.
Exactly. And then, the end, ... question mark? No, of course it's not the end. Splatterhouse 4, coming in
Rick
1995.
will return in Splatterhouse 4.
Where he takes on leprechauns.
Ooh, see? Yeah, possibilities are endless.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day.
I'm just saying, oh, God, Splatterhouse 4, St. Patrick's Day.
we need to lead up to the Splat Vengers.
And then eventually cross into Splatoon.
Yeah.
I mean, he just goes and kills all those squid kids.
Let's see what color ink comes out of you. Stab.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of this stuff everywhere. Oh, well. Splat, splat, splat. That's his
I love-
catchphrase, right? Splat, splat, splat.
Yeah.
I love the idea of some inkling talking to him. It's like, so, what gear do you run? I got myself the Splat Dualies. Pretty good. Lets me dodge everything. What do you got? I have a machete.
And it's machete.
Okay.
No,
And I'm being possessed by an evil mask. Oh, cool! I got like this bucket hat. It gives me like +1 respawn time. It's pretty cool.
so what kind of
Sounds
gear
cool.
what kind of gear you run with? Rick just like stabs him. Doesn't even answer.
Conversation over.
Like, how give a fuck?
I'm just curious. What kind of shoes you wearing? Shing. Oh,
What kind of shoes you wearing? Yours.
Your shoes, motherfucker. Give me those. I said, get those motherfucking shoes off. I'm planting the fucking flag. Anyway, Splatterhouse 3, a fantastic game that definitely needs to cross over with Splatoon at some point.
Yes.
God, the Splatoon cross Splatterhouse series, that seems like it'd be good. Like, the Squid Kids could be inking up the walls and going all over. It all takes place in one house also, right, Jesse?
Usually,
You fill the house with ink and then kill all the Squid Kids.
you could take one of those the big rollers, and just beat them to death with it.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I love the idea of like, you've filled up your meter. You have your special weapon. You have a 2x4.
Yeah. It'd be good. Yeah. Splatoon beat 'em up or Splatterhouse, costumes for Splatoon. One or the other needs to happen. Jesse, anything else on Splatterhouse 3?
No, it's a great game. If you can figure out how to borrow it or rent it, you should definitely do that.
Or get it in some kind of 2010 as like a bonus game in the 2010 remake.
Oh yeah. I think you can.
It's totally a
it's
game that we all haven't played.
It's unlockable.
Yeah, exactly. So head over to your PlayStation 3 eShop and download that Splatterhouse, and you got everything you need. It's still up and going. So, anyway, awesome, man. Great pick. Great fucking tunes. And Johnny, let's keep it going, man.
Game 2.
All right, so this is the second game in a spin-off series. It serves as a prequel to the first game of said spin-off series. All right. Who's got some answers?
I'm going to change my answer. And if my first answer was right, I'm going to be pissed.
Okay. All right, let's see. Jesse says Kid Dracula, and David says Kid Dracula, which is incorrect. John says Gargoyles Quest 2, which is correct.
Yeah!
This is Gargoyles Quest 2, The Demon Darkness for the NES. A sequel to the Game Boy game released a year or two before this. This came out on the Nintendo in 1992.
I was just saying, I didn't realize there was a Gargoyles Quest on the Nintendo.
It took a little Googling. Because I was like, hey, wait, like, it's not Demon's Crest, but, you know, I thought for a second there was Game Boy music, and I was like, Gargoyles Quest was on the goddamn Game Boy. It's like, there was a Gargoyles Quest 2 on NES? Like,
Yes, there was.
well, you know, man, and from the look of it, they actually did their homework this time. I seem to remember the Game Boy cover having a green firebrand on it, which is just nonsense.
Well, he's green on the Game Boy, right? So that kind of makes sense, but, you know.
Fair enough. But, you know, still, when he's made to be green against a colorful background for a piece of box art, it's like, wait, who am I playing as? There's no green Arimer. This is nonsense. Yeah, no. So, you know, the red Arimer is back. The firebrand, the greatest character in the history of video games.
What?
Arguably one of gaming's greatest little stinkers.
I think so.
A little stinker
yeah.
at this guy. He flies around and he cackles at things and he blows fireballs and shit. He's just, you know, he's just a little stinker.
I wouldn't necessarily call, you know, the red armor one of gaming's greatest stinkers. I think I would call him one of gaming's most tremendous assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John, your description's got me thinking of like a Capcom, or I'm sorry, like a Ghosts and Goblins Wacky Races kind of situation.
Oh,
Yes. Where I'm picturing. For some reason, I always put Firebrand in the same category as Muttley. Like he's a little cackling fucking demon guy. It's like,
that's what we need. Oh my god, we need to like. Who's our contact at Capcom? We need a Capcom kart racing game. Well, one of the karts is driven by Arthur and Firebrand, and Firebrand is just the Muttley to Arthur's Dick Dastardly.
dude, yeah, a Capcom double dash, like just team Capcom racing, and it's Arthur and the Firebrand. Yeah, Firebrand mostly just is there to clown on other people.
Oh my god!
And throw the occasional fireball. Like, I think it's a great idea.
Oh man, the Bowser car is basically Hagar. Oh god, there's some options here.
Oh my god.
Mm. It's Hagar driving like a badass pickup truck, and Cody just in the back throwing knives at people.
Yeah,
like, I'd be into that.
You could have like a Chun-Li rickshaw.
Oh, but who's her partner?
My gut instinct, my first thought was Ryu, but then thinking about it, it's like, no, it's got to be Chun-Li and Cammy.
Yes. Oh god. See, but then the
Chun-Li,
rickshaw makes
hold
no
on.
sense because it seems like they should be driving like an AN enforcement vehicle or something.
Chun-Li and movie Chun-Li. That's who her partner is.
Just Chun-Li and Ming-Na Wen.
That sounds cool.
Oh,
Her
God.
horn is the sound of Raul Julia saying, "For me, it was Tuesday."
Oh, I would love that. The whole game is just movie versions of Capcom characters, of which there are many.
More
Are
than
there?
you
So
think.
many. Yes, the man. Am I the only one that saw the Ghosts and Goblins movie? And did I make it up?
I think
I
I think I
tried.
did.
I tried to watch it, but I bumped into something and my clothes went everywhere, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Wait, that movie
Yeah, and
wasn't
then
just a fever dream? I thought that's what that was.
My weed wore off, and I realized I was watching Van Helsing, and I wanted to kill myself.
But I'm not sure where those boxer shorts came from.
Yeah, I don't like any of this. Why am I naked? Somebody give me some boxer shorts.
I do love the idea of playing a Capcom game where you can only play as Capcom movie characters. So you can play as Ming-Na Chun-Li, Kristen Krug Chun-Li, and then just Mila Jovovich.
Yes.
Not as any character, just Mila Jovovich.
Right. Yeah, she is her own character. She is not in the games. And you can play as that lousy ass Wesker, that janky ass Wesker. And what's his name from American Pie playing Charlie Nash? And you can play as, but
Jason
in fairness,
Biggs?
you can play. No, the bigger guy.
Eugene
Stifler.
Levy?
No. Yes, Eugene Levy.
Please,
Eugene Levy as Nash.
Oh, Sonic Boom. That's not very good.
Now,
Sorry.
Guile, we're just gonna tell your mother that we did all the Sonic booms.
I'm sorry, what game are we talking about?
We're talking about how you can play in this double dash game of Capcom movie games. You can play as two different skins of M. Bison driving the same car. You can play as Raul Julia, and you can play as Neil McDonough driving in the Bison Mobile. And it'd be great. But anyway, no, we're talking about Gargoyles Quest 2 for the NES, a game that Johnny has surely played and is prepared to talk about at length and didn't let us just get off on that tangent.
It's very spooky, and you play as a gargoyle.
And you go on a quest?
I believe he's from
two quests.
I believe he's from the Ghosts and Goblins series. I was looking at I was looking at Ghosts and
God damn it,
Goblins.
Johnny, the fact that you brought up a Gargoyles Quest game and don't know if there's a connection to Ghosts and Goblins.
No, I was
Despite us literally just talking about various connections for the last 5 minutes.
no, I was looking up Ghosts and Goblins. I was like, no, fuck this series. I'm going with Gargoyles Quest because like I hate Ghosts and Goblins. Gargoyles Quest though not so bad.
Everybody hates Ghosts and Goblins.
It is the shittiest game ever.
Yeah.
It really is.
Those are strong words.
Now, one thing I found interesting.
Oh, yeah.
about
I mean, shittiest game ever is strong words, but the game is not fun.
I stand by.
Period, point blank.
yeah.
Okay, Jesse, not a hot take, just a
was gonna
spooky
say-
take.
Are we going to get a hot take on that? No? Okay.
No.
Hot take.
Now it seems forced.
Hot take.
No hot take is forced, Jesse. No, so
Okay.
anyways, no, so it's a light RPG / action game. It's RPG in the sense that like you get powered up as you do things, but that's really about it. Like there's not much in terms of like forming a party or anything like that, or equipping weapons. You just get some new skills, and you get the ability to like have your flight last longer, things like that. Interestingly, this game was remade for the Game Boy, and like the Game Boy version has enhancements over the NES version, which I find fascinating. Because I'm used to the Game Boy versions being kind of the shittier version of the game, but apparently the Game Boy version of this is the better of the two.
So I'm sorry, they made a Game Boy spin-off of Ghosts and Goblins,
Mhm.
made an NES sequel,
Yes.
and then they made a Game Boy remake of said NES sequel.
Yes, that's
Huh.
exactly it.
I mean, to be fair, it is Capcom, and Capcom does love their remake sequels and money. So
Let's not forget NES game in 1992. That was a bold choice.
Was it really? Because like Mega Man 6 was released in, I think, like 94 or something.
What?
And Capcom was all about those late NES games, man. Mighty Final Fight came out pretty goddamn late. They were all about cashing in with some D-makes on the NES. I'm just picturing like the board meeting that, they're like, okay, we need something else to fill that, that October gap in 1992. What do we got, Capcom board? And it's like, well, we just released that Game Boy Gargoyles Quest. We could probably just kind of scale the bits from 4 to 8. Call it Gargoyles Quest 2. Everybody's kind of looking around, and the CEO of Capcom turns around, and it's a big high back chair, and he turns around, and it's just the Firebrand, and he's just like, and that's why they released Gargoyles Quest 2. He just flies off and publishes his own game.
I mean, we could
Well, the
possibly
boss says
we could possibly do this. What do you think? You make a compelling argument, sir.
Yeah.
Publish
Thank
it.
you, sir. As always, your leadership is appreciated. And then he just flies off and shoots someone with a fireball.
Did anyone else think it was weird that we had 6 office chairs and then a throne made of skulls?
Yeah, it just came in last Tuesday. Boy, that was.
Why
a
are we
face to
all in
put
our
together.
underwear? I thought we were having a board meeting. Where are my clothes?
This Friday's
Did you touch the boss?
Friday's gotten way too casual, guys.
Oh man, undercover boss? No, thank you. Undercover Firebrand boss. That's the show I want.
He's trying to dress up a gargoyle to look like a regular person, and
Like a
it
fast
just doesn't
food
work.
worker.
And like they come in, they're like, all right, the CEO is coming in, and he needs to believe that you don't think it's him.
It's
All right,
just
here he comes.
Firebrand with a mustache.
I love it. I love the idea. It's like, okay, the CEO is going to come in, but you're not going to know it's him. By the way, we have 3 new hires. Here's Jenny, here's Philip, and here's Firebrand. And he's just like Firebrand wearing a hat.
Blue Aramer.
The new
Oh,
guy,
nice to meet you.
This new guy really sucks. He keeps setting everything on fire.
I told you to work the drive-through, and he just started a fire.
Fire. Here's nickname Fire Guy.
Close. I'm now determined to do my awful Firebrand laugh as many times as possible in this episode. So, Johnny, anything else on Gargoyles Quest 2, a game that, again, you've surely played?
All I have to say is,
I think we should edit like your Firebrand laugh and add it to the soundboard.
Yeah, we should have really prepared a spooky soundboard for this show. But hey, live and learn. We'll be back for the next spooky episode with a soundboard of nothing but me and John doing Firebrand laughs. That's the thing people are asking for. Yeah, let's keep it going, guys.
Game 3.
Who took the fan request this week? This is the fan request.
I had done it for last week, but then y'all were like, "Oh, we're gonna pick something else."
Who uploaded this? Did a ghost do it?
God damn it, David.
I was going to upload this, and then we decided to not do this for the fan request. So
Yeah, that's
okay. I'm confused because I thought I had pulled this out, but because this is not what we were going to use for the fan request. I'm also like 100% positive that I didn't put this up for the fan request.
Well, you better get some trivia ready. Somebody who wasn't me. I know I was busy last week. Had to miss the show, personal reasons. So someone chose this, and someone needs to give us a trivia hint rightish nowish while I drink this beer.
I have no idea what game this is. Everyone else
Seriously?
Everyone else knows what we're talking. Do you guys think I pay attention to our group chats?
so. This game is is the third game in the series, and it was on a compilation of Capcom's Generations. Oh, I can't name that because I'll give it away.
All right.
But yeah,
Jesus.
it's
Oh, hey, this!
all right. Let me see those answers. Let's get this over with. We got looks like a hat trick with Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This was our fan request from Daniel, and oh boy,
I think it's
so
a fan request. I think it's our fan request from everybody this week. Like,
yeah. So okay, I first of all, I ended with that song, which was the easy song, because I wanted some semblance of this game to be easy. Um,
Yes.
I'll start with the good. It's pretty and the music is stellar.
And
Um,
boxer shorts.
oh yeah, boxer shorts. Okay.
Cheeky.
And otherwise, this game is fucking infuriating. Like I have tried so many times to sit there and just try and try to get anywhere in this fucking game, and it's just I can't do it. Now maybe I'm just the worst gamer ever, or maybe this game is just a fucking dumpster fire. Like it is not fun. I've played every version of this, and it is just so difficult and not in a fun way. It's like if you have you ever like went to like an adult website and looked at those videos where the women wear high heels and step on dudes' testicles? That is
I
what
have not.
that is what Super Ghouls and Ghosts is.
I want to go on record. I've not gone to those websites. I mean, I understand the pain involved. I am a man with testicles, after all. But no, I've not been to those websites. And I've met, and to only slighter, greater degree, have I exposed myself to Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Like this game's not that fun. Like, why do they keep putting this on things that people want to play? Like, here's the Super NES Classic. Here's Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It's like, with 24 other games to play, that's real bottom on the list of games that I'm gonna play on a like SNES Classic. It's like, here's your SNES Switch library. It's like, man, you think I'm gonna play Super Ghouls and Ghosts when I could play a Stone Cold bullshit classic like Brawl Brothers instead? Like, better check yourself, Ghouls and Ghosts.
Now David is about to unload some fire.
I was gonna say,
but
David's making some sour faces.
But I'd like to preface this by saying David is probably one of the best gamers I know. Like, there's like a top 3 of my friends, and David is like 1 or 2. So just keep in mind that he has very, very, as the kids say, mad skills when it comes to video games. So when he talks about how this game is an absolute delight, and it's just this whimsical world and this spooky land, and how, you just gotta time your button presses and watch those, animations per second and all this MLG bullshit.
Analyze your frame data and shit. Before David jumps in with his information, I really just want to remind everybody that David does go to websites in which women step on men's testicles with high heels, and also that David needs to begin this hot take with a firebrand laugh.
Go.
Okay, 1.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
2. John, methinks you doth protest too much about websites and women step on testicles with high heels.
No, sir.
3.
Really
Jesse, I am flattered, but no. And finally, I come to my main point. 4. So, Ghost and Goblins on the NES is a bullshit kick you in the dick game that is not enjoyable because it is so difficult. Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo is better, and the fact that I have to make that statement as a question kind of makes me like surprised, because I thought I thought people liked this game. Like, it is hard, but it is challenging in a kind of fair way. Like, it reminds me of the original Castlevania, where you just kind of have to like take your time and like watch things. And the only reason I say that I do not consider
frames per second.
I do not consider myself like a hardcore like MLG type person. Trust me, I downloaded Skullgirls on Switch. I started playing it. I forgot how much bullshit Marie was. Like, I am not the best player in the world, but I played Super Ghouls and Ghosts on Super Nintendo Classic on the Switch. After like 2 or 3 times, I got to stage 2. I don't know that I've ever gotten to stage 2 in Ghosts and Goblins. So like Super Ghouls and Ghosts like is apparently a little bit better. I mean, I know that you can get for one, you can get power-ups. If you get hit and lose your armor, you can get your armor back. Couldn't do that in Ghost and Goblins, at least as far as I'm aware. Like,
True.
this game, like, yeah, it's challenging. It's tough. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, it's a cakewalk and the easiest game on Super Nintendo. It's not, but I found it enjoyable. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun in kind of a, like, finally I accomplished something way. Not in, like, a Kirby way, but I don't know. Like, the game is challenging, but not impossible.
So
Johnny, I'm glad that David was able to say all this. That's given you time to decrypt his hidden internet files. Yes.
yeah, so I have a couple questions. Question one: what exactly is a cakewalk? I've never been on one, and it sounds delicious and
God.
fun.
Is it like a
Derailed my
cake fart?
joke. A cakewalk is the easiest game at any carnival, John. You give a few tickets, you walk around a circle. If you land on a number, you win a literal cake.
That sounds awesome.
Oh,
my
that's
it's
a
the
real
best.
thing.
It's
That's
the
awesome.
best thing ever, yeah.
really?
It was so good,
Wow.
man. In my elementary school, me and my sister were at the fall festival, and we did the cakewalk like 5 times and won 3 cakes. And my parents were pissed because they had to carry a bunch of cakes home. It was dope.
I make my own cakewalks like literally every day. I come home and I walk Ripley and eat cake while I do so. It's great.
Right. Yeah.
But no, so David is really being too humble about the MLG thing, because I've seen David, like, he beats the turbo tunnel for fun when he's kind of bored. Like, I don't have anything else to do. I'm just going to go beat the turbo tunnel. And then he goes and does it. So, like,
Like,
I don't know if
David,
that's true.
David,
He's really
Is
good
this
at,
game
like,
that tune
platformers.
canon now? Because canon David is so much better than real David.
No. Fuck that. But David is. I've seen David get more determined looks and like really, I've seen David get serious on more things than I've seen the rest of us get serious on. He's not turbo tunnel casual level, but I know David is willing to just kind of settle in, and just kind of relax his butthole a little bit and just let the game do its thing in the name of just having a good time. And you just kind of grit your teeth a little bit and get through it. And that's the name of David's game.
Jesus
And it's
Christ.
fine. It's
I
just
mean,
not the kind of game I want to play.
I feel like
I
he
want to
just-
argue with you, but where's the lie?
I know. I'm just saying it's a difference in just physiological philosophy on playing old school games. Like I tend to avoid that kind of grind. And David, he's more like, hey, I can kind of ride it. Like I can ride this out, and he does, and I respect it because I can't do it. I get so fucking frustrated, and it stings, and I gotta give up. Like I gotta just take a break. So I go back to my filthy casual games. But David, he'll really give it the old college try. He was in college experimenting and decided he liked a few things, and hard games in the ass. I've never gotten Johnny crying to the point that he needs to take off his glass more. So it must be a cogent analogy.
Oh my god. What's wrong
Anyway.
with us?
Nothing, man. I
Jesus.
thought it was a good analogy. But no, I mean, I'm really not clowning on David. I'm making the point. Like,
Are you sure?
some
Because it kind of sounds like it.
he's a
no,
special.
this. So, I'm giving you credit, man. I'm doing it in a filthy manner, but I'm giving you a little bit of credit. Saying I respect the hustle.
So yeah, that's my hot take. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, not as bad as Ghost and Goblins.
Johnny, you gonna
Game
play sound for
4.
that?
Oh,
Something. Geez.
Hot take.
sorry. Whew.
I was surprised because I thought like, oh yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, part of the Ghosts and Goblins. Like this is one of Capcom's most beloved friends. See, even as
No.
I'm saying that,
That's what
Jesse
they
and
think.
John are sitting there shaking their heads no and
No,
giving me
that-
dirty looks.
That's what's so weird is that they think this is one of their beloved series, and it's like, no one loves this. They do it, but it hurts. They put up with it because they love games, but it's not the kind of game you'll love. Like it's, I mean, if it was, there'd be more of them. Where are the Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins sequels? When's the last one?
Maximo.
I was gonna say the last one was probably Maximo.
Yeah.
So what? 17 years ago?
Yeah, I really don't understand why this. Like, there's only so many games on the SNES Classic. Like, and this took a like those slots are
It
valuable.
shouldn't have a spot.
It shouldn't be
Yeah,
on
it's 'cause
there.
it should be something that's a little more approachable. Like
Something-
this game,
yes,
Fun.
Ugh.
Yeah, I like fun. That's really the point of it. It's, I like games that are fun. And I'll submit to the grind when it's in the service of fun, but I've yet to find the fun in Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, whatever the series is. I refuse to acknowledge which one it actually is.
This and Contra 3 just you can go fuck off.
Now, see, that's the problem. I actually fucking love Contra 3. So, like,
At least you can play 2-player.
exactly. I love the grind and I love the 2-player, and Contra 3 is a classic. Get drunk and make it to level 3 game?
Maybe.
Like, any further and you were using the Game Genie, and don't tell me otherwise, because that shit is crazy. So anyway, let's all get together, bust out our Game Genie, and get really drunk and play Ghouls and Ghosts together. I think we should.
I was gonna say, so I guess my final thoughts before we move on, just based on everything that I've heard from you guys, is I guess I'm just better than all of you.
Yes, that's what we've been saying the whole
That's what we were saying the whole time.
Yeah,
this
dude.
isn't even a heel turn.
Yeah.
We
even
were saying this.
Absurdity King. Like, what the
God
fuck?
damn it,
Two-time. You're David
Yeah.
Two-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
2-time it, David.
David fucking Fleming.
Yeah. God, Jockstrap King.
Game 4.
Shit. All right, guys. So, in addition to her acclaimed performance as the lead character of this game's lead voice actor also provided her talents to such games as The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, and The Walking Dead Season 1. How you guys feeling?
I'm sorry, can you do that trivia one more time?
In addition to her acclaimed vocal performance as the lead character of this game's lead actress has also provided her voice to games such as The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, and The Walking Dead Season 1. I want to see it. Yes, John. Let me see it. Johnny has drawn a decidedly non-spooky penis. Self-portrait, John, or just
It's a ghost penis.
Okay, yeah. See, it doesn't really look all that ghostly.
Or a chalk outline of a penis that was murdered.
Right. So Johnny says chalk outline of a murdered penis, which is sadly incorrect. Jesse says deadly premonition, which is incorrect. And David is very much on the right track with his answer of Firewatch, starring Aaron Yvette as the lead character. But that is sadly incorrect. David, do you have a second guess that gets you no points?
Fortnite?
No, this game is Oxenfree.
Is that starring Aaron Yvette?
Yes, it is.
It is starring Aaron Yvette. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, you clearly have a list of games starring Aaron Yvette pulled up, or you're just racking your voice actor trivia brain and came up with Firewatch. But no, she plays the lead character in Oxenfree, an interesting little game that I feel like I was tricked into buying on the Switch eShop by virtue of it being on sale a while back. Has anyone even caught a
Damn
whiff
you,
of this one?
capitalism.
Yeah, curse you! You convinced me to spend $3. Tell me a game's critically acclaimed. How dare you? Quite frankly, does this game ring any bells for anybody? Did anybody even know this name? I feel like that's a David and Jesse question.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
I don't know what I thought this game was because I downloaded it somewhat excitedly back when like the Switch launched and the eShop came out. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll bite on Oxenfree, and it got pushed to the wayside because I got deep into Breath of the Wild and then Splatoon and Mario Galaxy, and this just fell by the wayside in my Switch downloadable games. And I was like, I should boot that game back up because we're doing a spooky games episode, and I'm pretty sure that's a spooky game. And it is. It's kind of cool. I don't know if I recommend it, but it's kind of cool. Like, it's interesting, man. It's the main reason I don't recommend it, in no way real similar to our discussion of Ghouls and Ghosts. Like, I like the grind when it's done in service of having like fun or like an enjoyable game. This is the other way around. There's no gameplay in this game to really speak of. So I'm not really having fun. Like, it's so you play as a girl named Alex, and you and your friends are going to a forbidden island, like an old military installation off the coast of Oregon or Washington or some such place. And you guys go there, I guess, to drink and hang out at the beach and what have yous. And all the gameplay in this game is just dialogue trees, and you can pull up a radio and tune it and hear little radio broadcasts and strange frequencies and things like that. And that's kind of it. And I thought maybe there was something else to this game. I don't remember how I was told to download this game or how I heard this was like acclaimed or anything. And I think the story is acclaimed. It's like a cool story with multiple branching endings and things. But there's just not much gameplay here. Like, you're exploring the island and you're looking for your friends. You and your friends go and something happens. How much should I spoil? This game came out in 2016. How safe is it to spoil like the preliminary events? Like the stuff you get out of the way in like the first hour. Like,
honestly,
do it.
If you don't beat the game in 48 hours, you deserve to get it spoiled for you.
John, I don't have 48 hours to string together to play this game.
No, I mean 48 hours of it coming out. That's all you get.
Oh, word. Yeah. Stay out of Game That Tune. It's spoiler country. So when you first start the game, you're playing as Alex, and you're there with your new stepbrother, Jonas, a friend of yours named Ren, who's like the goofball, and then the couple of girls, Clarissa and Nona. And through the dialogue options, you start to explore kind of the nature of all the relationships. Clarissa is actually Alex's. Does
she explain a lot of things?
No, that's the thing. Clarissa doesn't explain shit. She's kind of one of the big problems in this game, quite frankly. This island's got a lot of splaining to do, and Clarissa doesn't get to it, man. She, she's a mess. But she used to be dating your brother, and your brother is dead. And now you've got, your parents have remarried, and you've got a new stepbrother who you're hanging out with on this island. And you get to the island, and you go in the caves, and you're exploring these like beautiful dripping caves. But like, there's like a rumor that there's like radio anomalies and whatnot. And so you start tuning that little radio that you got with you, and you tune it, and some shit happens. Like, I haven't beaten the game yet, but from what I can tell, it's either involving like dimensional shit, or like looping time or both, and possibly like ghosts. And so then, all your friends get scattered to different parts of the island. You got to find them and, decide what to do and solve the mysteries of the island. It's cool. It's got like a, like a cool vibe to it. It's got cool music. I love the fucking synthiness of it. It's very 80s, very strange. But there's just not a whole lot of gameplay on the game. So, it really depends on how much you're invested in the story. And, some things start getting kind of crazy and things are revealed. And, it's, I don't know. It's interesting. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those games where it's like, I'm trying to think of other ones that I've been slightly tricked into playing under the guise like, this is a critically acclaimed game and you should play this. And then it's like, this was literally just an interactive storybook.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Fuck off. I was thinking
Shots fired.
Hot take.
No, the gameplay in Metal Gear Solid 5 is the only good part. The story's fucking
that's
terrible.
Right.
Yeah, it's the opposite of all the other Metal Gears. It's the one where everything's fun except it's not satisfying as a game, as a story. I was thinking of like Gone Home.
Ooh.
Did anybody play Gone Home where you're exploring a spooky abandoned house and through just the lack of explaining what's going on, it seems like something spooky has happened. Your family's not here, and it's raining outside. I thought maybe David would have played this one by now. David, you didn't play or hear about Gone Home?
I was gonna say I've definitely heard it. I've played a little bit of it, and I haven't played enough to be able to counter your argument.
Yeah. So, no, I know the full story of Gone Home because I got tired of playing it and decided to watch a movie of it because I figured out pretty quickly that it was an interactive storybook. Gone Home, it only seems creepy out of lack of explanation of what's going on. You think, oh, it's, I'm playing a game and this is an abandoned house. So, like, the parents must be dead or I'm a ghost or some shit. And it's like, actually, no. Like, your parents really aren't home. And you're just going around the house and finding mementos to piece a story together. And the story is your older sister came out of the closet and left. And you miss your sister. And it's like, oh, well, that's kind of touching. But I feel like it's kind of missing something. Like being a game. Same thing with Oxenfree. Like, this is interesting. There's dimensional shit and like looping time and spooky shit going on and like radio communication with possible ghosts. But like, there's no real gameplay to speak of. It's a game.
Is it a
but is there
simulator?
play? Like, it's a walking sim with dialogue trees and a radio dial. Like, it's, I don't know. It's odd.
See, when you describe it like
but
that,
I know that-
I get very interested. I would love a walking
See, that's
sim
the
with
thing.
dialogue trees.
I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of interesting because, like, I from what I understand, at the end of the game, you get graded, or not graded, but like, there's multiple endings depending on how you interact with each one of your friends on the island, and it'll like say like, I don't know if it collected like user data or something, but it'll give you like a little like chart, and it's like, you and 30% of other players were able to reconcile your friendship with so and so. You and 10% of other players, got this girl to, see the error of her ways and start going out with this guy. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, depending on the options you choose, the outcome's different. And, the selfie you take at the end of the game, everybody's standing in different couples and things. So it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. But just not a whole lot of gameplay to hang on it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I want to finish it because I feel like the story is kind of cool, and I feel like they wouldn't have been able to push this game on me if it hadn't gotten at least some acclaim. But I just, it's just not a whole lot of game here.
It's an interactive experience.
It sure is. But it's cool. It's a cool interactive experience. Again, it's got, an interesting art style. Like, it's, I'm trying to think. It's reminiscent of, did anybody back in the day own The Stinky Cheese Man, the book?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. With
like kind of a paper cut art style, like, and kind of a gross, like grimy aesthetic to the pages. Yeah. Like, the landscape's reminiscent of that. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like my Stinky Cheese Man. And, the dialogue's good. It's all well acted. and the music's really cool. Like it's got some creepy synth, and when the radio dial starts getting creepy, things get all warped and like the screen warps in cool ways. Like there's some cool shit in play, but I don't know. It's
yeah, you can't
really something.
To me, something being an interactive experience is not that great of a selling point, because like going outside is an interactive experience. Going to a bar, like you can't just like what's
it better be a compelling fucking story for me to just sit here and like do this, like as opposed to actually a fun game or like a good movie or something. Like you better if this is just going to be an interactive experience, it better be in the service of something really fucking good. So that's what I'm kind of hoping as I make it my mission to put the last couple of hours into playing this. But I'm also going to be disappointed if I like get the bad ending or some shit, like, because there are a bunch of branching paths, and it's like, okay, now see, I'm not going to have the patience to do this over again. Like, this game is clearly about like time rifts and dimensional shit, and if I turn out to beat this game and I was playing the bad ending or something, I ain't going back. So it just, I don't know. It's really something. It's, I don't know. I can't, like I said, can't recommend it because I haven't beaten it. And it's just, I don't know. It's
I have
not
the
a whole lot
same
of
problem
games to
with
it.
the movie Primer, in that I love it, but I can't recommend it to anybody because I haven't seen it 40 times yet. I've only seen it 39 times, and I need to see it again because every time I see it again, I understand it just a little bit more and a little bit less at the same time. And this sounds like one of those games. Like you play it again, and you're like, ah.
No, but see, it's the thing. It's not that quick of a game. I think it takes several hours to beat, and I'm not going to put several hours multiple times into it. So this is more like I've watched half of the movie Looper, and I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it. And based on what I've played and watched, maybe I recommend it. It seems like it's got some cool ideas in play, and Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt kind of look like each other. But I don't know, man. It's up to you if you think this is for you. If you like synth music and creepy shit, and I don't know, Stranger Things-esque, like kind of sci-fi creep show stuff, then yeah, maybe give this game a try. If not, fucking do something else with your time, and I wouldn't begrudge you at all. Like,
Here's the question.
So
Question of the day: is this game better or worse than Super Ghouls and Ghosts?
Ooh, well,
Better.
it's decidedly easier because there's literally like no way to lose, to my knowledge. But there's almost no satisfaction yet in playing it because you don't have to do anything except walk around the island and dial that radio to listen to some ghoulies.
That's
And
my
not get
perfect
punished.
So yeah, actually, yeah, it is way better than Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
So, here's an observation. Like, Johnny is notorious also for liking really hard games.
Is he?
But I've heard him talk about how he likes really hard games and stuff.
Johnny's such a wild card.
Yeah,
He's all over the place, man.
This game really appeals to me and doesn't appeal to me because on one hand I hate stories, but on the other hand I love not having to do anything. So like I don't know what I'm supposed to feel.
I think you're supposed to have someone read a book to you.
That
I think you found your new fetish.
Yeah, someone stomps on Johnny's balls and reads him a nice book.
Man, I got some website ideas now.
Ooh, yes, new T-shirt ideas too.
Yeah.
David, are you choking down a response here, or what's going on here? I see an anxious face.
No, I have no comment.
I think he's anxious for us to move on to his
That
game.
sounds like a hot take.
Yeah. You ain't got nothing to say about Oxenfree.
Hot take.
God damn, John.
Game
Forget it.
5.
This game has extensive voice acting. The male voice is provided by the developer's founder, while the female voice is provided by noted K-Rock DJ Nicole Alvarez. Who's finished Googling Nicole Alvarez?
Oh, please, David, give us a little bit more credit than that.
I used Ask Jeeves. Oh.
So John says, God, your handwriting is garbage. He has a drawing of a ghost and says something that looks like booms.
Boo earns.
Boo earns. John Harrington and Jesse both have the correct answer. This is lit. So I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here, which is appropriate considering the game. I'm the only person who's played Lit. Is that correct?
Is this about the band?
Yeah. It's no surprise to me, David.
Oh, no.
After all, I am my own worst enemy.
No, I'm not letting this happen. No.
Every now and then, I kick the living shit out of me.
No.
So
can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk?
I
David,
don't know that we can, John.
I didn't mean to call you that. So, David, please tell me why you've chosen this game.
I chose this game mainly because, and I had a weird Mandela effect because
in the front lawn.
When the theme came out of spooky games, like, all right, I just need to pick like a good like survival horror game. I don't really play a ton of those, but one game that fits that mold that I did really enjoy was Lit for WiiWare. And I was like, oh yeah, I want to play that. Wait, no, I can't. I've used that game before. And then I checked the list and I haven't. And then it's like, oh, maybe I discussed this on like a GTT Gems, which you can check out by joining patreon.com/GameThatTune.
Yes.
And it turns out it hasn't been brought up there. It's like, as God is my witness, I've discussed this game before. And surprisingly, I never have.
I think we almost brought it up. Like, I brought it up as like, also this game. And you were like, oh, wait, no, that game was good. And then we just moved on. It's like, well, too late. 2019's, moving on from GTT Gems. Because I definitely remember this being on the list at some point, being like, I don't know what that is, but it's a WiiWare game, and we should talk about WiiWare games. Because if we don't talk about them, they're lost to history. So, David, tell us what the deal is with Lit.
So Lit was actually a really awesome game. It is a survival horror puzzle game. It was developed by WayForward, and one of the things that I really enjoyed is Way Forward is known for like really elaborate sprite animations and like really colorful
yeah.
graphics. This game uses 3D models and has a very muted dark color palette. Like it's very uncharacteristic of a Way Forward game. And that's something that I thought was cool. So the basic plot is you star as this kid named Jake, who's a high school like goth emo student. And his entire school has been taken over by shadows and monsters that live inside the shadows. So the whole goal is you're trying to bring light back. And that's kind of the irony of the game is like you're this bleak emo, nothing has meaning, blah, sort of protagonist. And like you're the one who is
Spider-Man 3 action.
Yeah, and you're the one who is bringing light back to the world.
And
so
now,
like,
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. This is a Way Forward game. And it's 3D models, and your main character is a guy?
that is correct.
That renders all the follow-up questions I normally have about Way Forward games moot. So, wow. Continue, David.
Yeah, it has a very like uncharacteristic art style, and the whole goal is you're trying to like go through the school and rescue your girlfriend. And every single classroom is sort of divided up in a grid, and you can only move through beams of light. So it's a puzzle game. So like you go into a room and there's a like 3 beams of light. So you have to go and click on lights to provide like sources of light that you can stay in and be protected. You get a slingshot, you get cherry bombs, stereotypical high school stuff. And you can use those to smash like windows to bring in light, which will bring in like beams of safe spaces that you can go into. So it's basically like a trial and error game where you have to kind of navigate these rooms all by extending beams of light through them.
So the light came in through the windows?
I feel
Last
like that's
night?
a reference to a song lyric that I'm not going to allow.
And you're gone. Okay, no. Forget it.
One of the things that I also thought was cool because, again, you're trying to rescue your girlfriend. And at certain stages in the game, like certain classrooms, there will be a phone. And if you go up, you can pick up the phone as like an optional bonus. And your girlfriend will talk to you like, oh, Jake, I don't know what's going on. There's these weird things. I'm hiding out in the gym. But it was on WiiWare. So you control the game with the nunchuck controller to move around, and you can use the Wiimote to like point a flashlight. Every time you pick up the phone, you have to hold the Wii remote to your ear, and her voice comes through the speaker. So it actually does sound like it's coming through a phone.
Fun. Also a little bit annoying, but fun.
And as like an optional bonus, if you answer all of the phone calls, you unlock a special version of the game once you beat the game where you can play through the game as Rachel. And if you pick up the phone as Rachel, you pick it up and it's Jake calling like, hey, I'm trapped in the gym. What's going on? There's these weird monsters.
Yeah, I'm sleeping with my clothes on. Please tell me why. Oh.
I'm sorry, Jesse, what was that? I was distracted by John.
Do you have to marry Ross?
No, you don't.
Good.
But this
Well, thank goodness.
this game was a lot of fun, and I was sad that it was only on WiiWare. Way Forward did make a version on mobile, but it's a little bit different. Like it does use kind of the more cartoony sprite graphics. It is a bit more colorful, and the original game was kind of in like a third-person perspective, and the mobile version is like top-down grid-based. So it's slightly different, but it's still worth checking out because it's a fun puzzle game. And again, it's a survival horror puzzle game. How often do you see something like that?
Last week.
Frequently. That brings us to tonight's lightning round.
Lightning round.
I think he got you again.
For one time,
There's
you're
no
on
lightning
point.
round about survival horror puzzle games.
Also, again during David's game.
David brings up these things that sound like they could be lightning rounds, but they're not. But Johnny plays things when I say them. If it's the lightning round sound, if it's the space sound or the home improvement sound, he never plays it at the right time. But if I say lightning round, he just instinctively thinks that there's actually a lightning round. I support that. Man, and I a stinker. But yeah, no, I honestly, I'm a survival horror with a puzzle element. No, I got nothing on that. I mean, unless you're counting the puzzle element of like reorganizing your briefcase in Resident Evil, which is annoying. And it's not really the core of the gameplay. So no, not that.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little trial and error. Sometimes it can get a little like frustrating, but it is a really unique game and it was super cool. And if you're interested in like horror or anything like that, I do recommend looking up the art of this game because the art is very uncharacteristic and the bosses are super fucking creepy because you're in a high school. So the first boss is like a teacher and it's just kind of like a pale woman with super long fingernails that kind of like claws at you. There's a boss who's like a gym teacher that hurls dodgeballs at you, like, but they're all very eldritch horror monstrosities. Like, it's a super fucking creepy game.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. Yeah, it's something I wouldn't expect from Way Forward. I think that's fun, man. Because yeah, like I said, I normally think of Way Forward making games in which you star as perky females in platforming situations and starring as a weird goth kid who has to go through a horror school. It's like, oh yeah, that's something completely different. Like, who knew they had it in them? I'm so glad this was a success and not lost to mobile phones and WiiWare. I wish it was. I wish WiiWare was still a thing. Why couldn't they bring that to the Switch instead of SNES games? Imagine fucking the weird response they would have gotten on that if they announced like, instead of SNES games, we're bringing all of WiiWare, and I mean, it would have blown some fucking minds. Nobody would have ever seen it coming. Like, we've got Contra Rebirth and we've got Lit, and somewhere someone would be like, yeah.
I love the idea of Nintendo making an announcement during a direct, like, we know you've been having fun with NES Online. Now get ready for the next step. Right. WiiWare.
Right.
Wait, what?
We've got Nick's Quest, baby.
Did you skip a couple steps?
I just wish they would get back to this step. Like, how long is it going to take Nintendo to realize there's people out there with Wii nostalgia that want WiiWare games back? Like, I hope they retain the rights to these things. Like, I hope somehow putting it on WiiWare licensed it to Nintendo in perpetuity. So we eventually get our Castlevania and our Contra and our Gradius Rebirths, our various Bubble Bobble Pluses, and our Lits released for some future system. I mean, they need to bring these games back. They can't be lost to time. This is too strange to be lost to time. It's like, it's so of a time. It needs to be of all times. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting more into this as we talk about it more. It seems like a fun game.
I'm not gonna lie, the market for Lit and Nick's Quest on Switch may be me, but that market exists because I exist and I want that to happen.
Exactly. David's body is ready for the re-release of WiiWare on Switch. So make it happen. Checks notes. Yoshiaki Koizumi, not Reggie anymore. Make it happen, whoever runs these things. Bring the WiiWare back. But David, anything else on Lit? The the one-hit wonder game for WiiWare, in which I'm trying to think of more references to that awful song.
It's probably best that you don't. It was a super fun game and it was super unique, and I want to play the mobile version to see how it compares, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say buy the mobile version.
Mm-hmm. And you're gone. That's it. Johnny, start the calculating computer.
Calculating computer activated. Computers, beeps.
Oh, sorry, I was checking up on the chat. What was that?
Beeps. Scoring complete. This game's winner is... John Harrington.
Yeah! I like it. Good to be back in the winner's chair. That's what I call my chair every time I sit down in it. It's like, yeah, this is the winner's chair. I'm winning tonight. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. Especially when we're talking about spooky games. Such my wheelhouse.
See your hands.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. I'm down here giving myself a double stranger. It's great, man. But yeah, man, what a show, what a game. I did not think that I would get this many spooky games correct, but I think it was helped by the fact that we used 2 games from the Ghouls and Ghosts series. So thanks to you guys for choosing these games and compiling these requests. I appreciate it. And I got a theme in mind for next week. We're getting just past Halloween, which of course means Christmas decorations are going up nationwide because this is America and time has no meaning anymore. And so, in that spirit, Christmas, it's time for family. And I want to talk about games, family games. And that could mean a number of things. That could either mean games that feature characters that are a family, games that are family games, rated E for everyone, or as the ESOP used to call it, kids to adults, or games that you played with your family, whether that was appropriate or not. I just want family is the theme for the next episode. Family games. So I think I've given you guys enough leeway to come up with some great things and play some great games on next week's episode. So it's family time for the next 9 weeks or so. It's Christmas time, god damn it, and we're just gonna be around our families. That's what we do, right? We take vacation starting at Thanksgiving. We all go home and put up with our families for several weeks in the lead up to Christmas.
I have a question. So since when did Christmas stuff start, like the day after Halloween? It's
brother,
the day after Thanksgiving, John. You are.
Have
really
you Have you not walked into a Walgreens, CVS, or Target lately? Like, there is Christmas stuff next to the Halloween aisle.
There was at the Sam's Club in Tallahassee, no shitting, Christmas stuff next to the Halloween stuff at the end of August. I don't know what's going on with reality, whether we're in some kind of crazy oxen-free time loop, horrifying alternate dimension where for some reason people want to buy Halloween candy in August and also fake Christmas trees because the candy's not going to taste real fucking good if you buy it in August and then give it to kids at the end of October, you fucking idiots. I don't know what's going on with reality right now.
I think what's going on is Jesus is the reason for the season.
And he's going to spread his season all up in the cheeks of the rest of the year. He's just, extending that season. It's just getting deeper and deeper into my year. And eventually it's just always going to be Christmas.
He's going to give someone else the 9-inch nail.
Exactly. That's what it's going to be. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Want to see my stigmata, baby?
Everybody.
Jesse, no.
What?
Oh, God.
He's gonna crucify.
So anyway, it's family time on next week's Game That Tune. So it's time for family, not for Jesus sex jokes. So thank you all so much for listening.
Both.
I think
that's why I left the theme so loose. Maybe
that's the perfect segue. Jesus
like
is going to give somebody else the 9 inches. So family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe your family sits around and makes awful Jesus sex jokes. I don't know. It's not my family. Like I said earlier, Killer Instinct, evil. So no, we don't talk about Jesus having sex. But thank you all so much for listening. What a show tonight. What a great time. What a spooky show. Happy Halloween to all those listening on our live show. We're live every Wednesday night, twitch.tv/GameThatTune, youtube.com/GameThatTune, facebook.com/GameThatTune. We appreciate you guys joining us live. Thank you to everybody listening in podcast form. Johnny, what's the holiday for November the 6th for people listening in podcast form, day of download? Happy early John Regan's birthday. That's why you're listening. Yeah. So thank you all for listening in podcast form. You can find us in anywhere you get your podcast. Check us out. Game That Tune. Give us a listen there. We appreciate you listening. Thanks to everybody checking out Patreon. Patreon.com/GameThatTune. We got awesome exclusives. We've got GTT gems. We've got Covered Up. We've got mixtapes. We've got little bonus post shows and whatnot. We just love having you guys support us. We really greatly appreciate it. Special thanks to our super fan tier producers, Alex Messenger, Lance Revere, Damian Beckles, Bradford Stevens, Mega XX Chrono XX, and of course, Daniel Perky. Daniel is one of our Patreon, like, super fucking primo producers. Johnny, am I right on that?
Yeah, there's only 4 of those slots, and he's one of them.
Yeah, he got it. So Daniel gets an extra perky perk. And Johnny, why don't you tell him what's going on with that perk?
So, one of the top tier perks is that you can like plug your thing on our show, and so
Nobody noticed this until now.
Right? So Daniel called in to our Patreon hotline, left a voicemail for us to play, plugging a charity that he's interested in.
Hey, I want to just say happy Halloween to everyone. And I also wanted to let everyone know to see if they can visit teamtrees.org to help donate money to plant 20 million trees by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, save the rainforest, whatever, you know, whatnot. But yeah, if you want to check it out, just go to teamtrees.org and donate a little bit of money to help us get more trees on this earth. We breathe easier. Go plant a tree in the front yard. Who knows? But yes, thank you. And also, y'all all have a great day.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I was looking this up. I think it's $1 is a tree. And I believe they partnered with, I think, the Arbor Day Foundation. And basically your donations go straight to that foundation. And like I said, $1 per tree. So go donate $5, you do 5 trees.
That's fucking awesome. That's a worthy cause. It's going in the show notes. And Johnny, our Patreon's been so successful. We have $20 million to donate to this charity so they can leave us alone, right?
We do. Not.
Okay. Thank God. No, I mean, seriously, you know, of all the causes I support, environmental causes are on the top of the list. So yeah. Great use of our plug space. Thank you, Daniel, for that. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being a super fan tier producer. Special thanks to all of our requesters this week. They all sent us the same request for Super Ghouls and Ghosts, so fuck you all for that. But they sent it to us via our Discord server, so check us out there. You can send us your request, gamethattune@gmail.com. You can send us requests on Twitter @gamethattune, or you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm there @jgangsta187. You can find John Regan on Twitter
JPReganJR.
You can find David Fleming on Twitter
DFD Fleming.
And you can find Jesse Moore on Twitter
Sega_legend.
Hell yeah, guys. So we got bonus tunes. It's, as of this recording, the day before October. I think this might be unprecedented. We've got a game that has yet to be released that I'm going to play some bonus tunes for as of this recording.
Hold on. What the fuck is the day before October? Is that what you just said? Today's the day before October?
I believe the day before October is September 30th.
It's the end of the show, and I'm rambling, baby. So let's do a fresh take of that. So yeah, I've got the bonus tunes tonight, and Johnny's got a big gaping butthole, and it's October 30th, the day before Halloween, so we got spooky tunes to finish out the month, and I think we've got something a little unprecedented, folks. We've got tunes from a game that hasn't even come out yet. How did we get these tunes?
From
Secret
the
Game
future.
Tune access. Ooh, spooky! Multiple dimensions and time loops and whatnot. We've got some music from Luigi's Mansion 3. It's the lounge version of the Luigi's Mansion theme, which I assume plays in the hotel lounge in Luigi's haunted ass hotel. So happy Halloween. Enjoy your October, and peace out, everybody. Splatterhouse 3 is copyright 1993 Namco Limited. Gargoyles Quest 2 is copyright 1992 Capcom Company Limited. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is copyright 1991 Capcom Company Limited. Oxenfree is copyright 2016 Night School Studio. Lit is copyright 2009 Way Forward Technologies.